Welcome, modelers. Got a product review for you today. So if you've been following along with my three little Focke-Wulfs builds, these little 172 Focke-Wulfs, you've noticed I was running into some problems with paint where it was just like a lot of pressure, but then it kind of was splattering and it was kind of making a bit of a mess and hard to really get a good paint flow in there. So I was trying to figure out what could be the problem, and came down to it's got to be consistent airflow, because I noticed when I was spraying just water, it would, which is like clean up my airbrush. At first, it would spurt and just clear it, but then it would eventually dip down to just be kind of a almost towards the end. So, and getting into like a pulsating effect almost. So the problem was this old decrepit airbrush compressor, which I've had this for like 8 years now. It's been pretty reliable and quiet, so I've liked it, but I think we need to move on. So I picked up from spraygunner.com the Tooty Airbrusher, aptly named by no name, to actually be correct, and to see if this would solve the problem. So a few specs on this guy. It's the same relative horsepower to what I have before, but we get into better cooling fans onto this one, and so keep it cooler. But the big benefit, 3-liter air tank. So with this, whenever the compressor is kicking on, it's just maintaining pressure, whereas with the old one, it's just trying to keep it, almost trying to be consistent. And since it's getting older, it's really hard to actually maintain something closer to 25 psi, even closer to 30. It's really struggling. Whereas with this, you fill up the air tank, and takes like about a minute or so for it to just full to pressure. Then you dial into your pressure right here, which I set it to be about 25 psi, the max that I would probably want to do for most projects, and then put in the dial on my airbrush itself. And that way it's going to be consistent, because the air compressor motor is only kicking on just to maintain a pressure in here, which I think it's close to like 60 psi that it's maintaining. So I'm never dipping below that 25 psi. So the early results that I found with it, one disadvantage that I found with this, I don't know if it's this particular one or what the case may be, but I found I rated it and measured 66 decibels, so it's a bit louder than what I had before. I don't know if there's luck of the draw or what happened, because it's a little different from what they have on their website. So if anybody also has one of these and can tell me what kind of decibel rating they get, that would be greatly appreciated. Beyond that, it's so far been running really well. I've been noticing that it's not really hot, even though run it for like an hour with, of course, with the tank and this and that, so it's intermittently running. And so far it's completely changed my game. Okay, so the old test that I ran, you can see where you get into a lot of air pressure and it spurts out, and I'm just running primer just kind of as a test. Want to run something thicker and see how it runs, and it can run it quite well, and then close to the end it's losing air pressure. And if I ran it even further, it would get into kind of just this spurting effect almost at the end. So just a lot of problems that it was running into, and that's a visual representation of what I was actually seeing. So when I switched over to Mr. Tooty here, just full on consistent flow all the way across. So this has been a game changer. I don't know if my airbrush has been inadequate. I'm just noticing, or it's just kind of that it's just getting 8 years old and it's not really able to perform at the full horsepower that it had before. Probably what I'm guessing, for my self-esteem at least. So definitely an upgrade. Plus comes with a 1-year warranty. The people over there at Spray Gunner are really good with customer service. Message them how to message like within the hour. And so I'll be running this in my upcoming videos, so you'll see with the next installment of the Focke-Wulfs, on up to just about everything I'm going to be using this tank here. So stay tuned for those videos. But I definitely give this a thumbs up.